small little steps. Success is very small little steps, day in and day out, in the right direction. And failure is exactly the opposite. If failure is doing the wrong thing every single day, okay? Little steps of wrong decisions, of wrong activities, consistently. So remember that success is not just this one thing, one time. The world has gone mad, crazy, man. I have restrictions now to go to the supermarket. I'm doing this video inside the car again because there's so many people inside the supermarket that you have to queue outside. So my wife is going in, but you got people coming with a whole family, and everybody has to wear a mask. So apparently, the more people restrictions you put on them, the more limitations, the more they gather together. So now, just because it's compulsory to wear a mask inside supermarkets and public places, really, they gather even more. The world has gone crazy. Just don't come the whole family into the supermarket. Just send one person. It's just ridiculous, man. But anyways, I just want to talk to you about success and failure. What has been my biggest success, not only in music licensing, but in life in general, And I use music licensing as a way of telling stories, because when I first started doing music licensing and selling my music on online, it was the very first time that I actually started earning money online. It was the first steps into being a musician, and at the same time start thinking as an entrepreneur, start thinking as a business person, and say, I want my music to give me an income. I want my music to make me money. How can I learn to compose music that is going to be commercial? Gonna compose music that people are gonna need. I'm gonna be at the service of somebody else. It's not just music for my own artistic pursuits. It's actually beyond that. So I'm not being selfish. So that was the number one thing for me, and that's why I always tell stories about how I got started on selling music online, and why for me it's so important that those were my very first steps into the world of business. Okay, because after that many things happen. I learned so much by just having a different perspective when it came down to music making, to selling music online, and realized that I could be doing this not only on a full-time basis, but at the same time growing as a composer. The more I experimented with different styles of music, and the more I will grow, the more the better I became, and the person that I was becoming and that I am becoming in the process has been mind-blowing, really. So here I am in this car doing this video years later. I have a YouTube now, thanks to me starting that journey that I started a few years ago doing my stock music. I have courses, I have a podcast, I have helped hundreds of people, both with my paid courses and with the free resources that I have online. And it's been just mind-blowing, really, that journey. Okay, for me it's been really a life-changing experience, and everything started just because I wanted to sell my music online. That's why I'm so passionate about helping people now. I just came here and parked underneath a little shade because it's so hot. It's unbelievable. And I mean, my biggest success has been not only doing stock music, and I don't want to rewind too much either, and working online, earning money online. Not only that, but the person that I have become, like I was saying to you. But at the same time, I have learned to follow my instinct, my intuition. Okay, that has been my biggest success today. Okay, beyond anything else. Okay, beyond anything that I could have accomplished, or anything that I have accomplished really has been because of my learning to trust my intuition, my instinct, and say, is this the right thing for me right now? Okay, and this has been a journey of mistakes and failures and accomplishments, and any little thing that you can possibly use as an example. And I'm sure you have experienced this in your own life. Okay, I'm just using music and my own story as a way for you to relate to. Okay, I'm going to tell you a quick story. One time I got into this job, a day job, years ago, and it was definitely not my job. It was definitely not something that I should have been doing. And but yet I got this job, and the people that were there, I was so out of place. Okay, I was like, this is not my place. Okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. And the people that I actually met there, they didn't knew me. Okay, and one day I was so frustrated. Everything was going wrong in my life. I was so depressed. At that time I was living in England actually, and my wife had booked tickets to come to Greece for holidays, and I didn't came. She came by herself. This is way before we had kids and everything. And I stayed behind. I lost a lot of weight because I was so depressed in this job. I was so depressed in doing what I was doing, and this person in that workplace, in that work environment that I was, she barely knew me. Okay, this person. She has seen me probably like 3, 4 times, and one day, as I am there in the work environment in this job, she asked me like it was real concern for me. Like, what is wrong, Daniel, with you? She could read my face, okay, of how desperate I was, how sad, how out of place I was, and I'm like, wow, I must look like really like shit, okay, because this person doesn't know me. She barely knows me, and this person is already telling me, like, expressing concern, like it has something happened, okay, like somebody has died, like you just received some bad news or something. And I was just so desperate, I was just so out of place in this work environment, and I couldn't do anything about it. So I thought, of course I could do something about it. I could quit and just do something else, but I was so helpless back then. And everything inside of me was telling me, you're in the wrong place. Everything inside me was saying to me, you need to do something. And yet I'm not doing anything. I'm still there just because I needed to earn some money to pay the bills. And there's other jobs, there's other things to do. And I managed to get out. I managed to go and take control of my life like this very, very quickly. It was amazing. So that has been, my mistake back then was that I wasn't listening to my inner voice, to my intuition, to my instinct. I just kept at it, and I would just wake up and go, and I was in such pain, spiritual pain. Okay, it was horrible. Okay, so I learned to slowly but surely trust my own voice, trust my own intuition, and learn how to listen. And now, if I'm on the wrong path, even if there's a little bit of doubt, I listen to that voice and I say, what's going on here? How can I fix this? Is this the right thing for me, for my family? And now I'm not alone. Now I can't just take decisions just like this. I have a family. You know, that was a big failure. That was a big learning lesson for me. And nowadays, now the older I get, I'm 45 years old, and I wouldn't change age, okay, and wisdom for youth ever. I wish I knew all of these things and all of these experiences when I was younger, of course. This is what old people say as they grow older. So I have a real sense of where am I going and what I want to do, and I want to help as many people as possible. Which brings me to this other point now, is that I was so selfish as well in my pursuit of success for myself and for my family. And what happened with stock music, and as soon as I started selling music online, I created this YouTube channel, and I wanted to promote my music. And what started happening is that more composers and other people like me were reaching out, and musicians and producers said, like, I want to do the same thing that you're doing. How are you doing it? And I was like, well, I'm actually not promoting my music anymore. I'm actually attracting other composers that want to do the same thing. So I fell by, it's almost like fate in a way. Like I all of a sudden I found myself with a small community, and I'm really thankful for that. And all this started because of this YouTube channel, and I started helping people. And all of a sudden this other thing came about, and the channel evolved. Back in the day, that this channel was called Diva Production Music, because that was the name that I have on royalty-free libraries. And then I changed the name of the channel to Stock Music Licensing, and eventually got the domain as well, stockmusiclicensing.com, and this whole brand as well, the expansion of not only a composer, but as well of helping people. And what I discovered is that by helping people, it gave me an immense satisfaction to see other people succeed it gave me this. It's an unbelievable feeling, and that has been like probably one of my biggest success as well. Okay, to, after being successful on my own, I'm thinking of my own success of how can become better as a composer, how can I earn more money online by selling music, and the journey that I have embarked by working from home as a stay-at-home dad and documenting this thing here on my YouTube channel. But helping people has been a life transformation experience for me. Be seeing the comments, and then after doing my paid courses and my programs, and have people going through the courses and see the success that they have, not only because they took my course, but because they took action. They actually went through the course and they actually did the thing that I am teaching them. And that has been a mind-blowing experience to me. Okay, and I really, really want to help, and the people that are really asking for help, I'm there, you know, and that has been a real, like I said, life-changing experience. Like almost like it's like good karma in a way, like truly helping somebody, you know, truly helping somebody that wants to do the same thing that you want to do, or you know, and how can they, when they reach out and they really want to know, they really want to learn. This to me has been something that I could have never ever dreamed of years ago, and I feel this duty, or not duty, but this calling, this responsibility of helping people, you know. And back in the days, I used to hear a lot about this, like, okay, you need to help people, you need to help people, but I never really understood that. And especially when you have or a weird day job, or you're doing something that you're not really emotionally connected to, and you can't really help that much if you don't really feel, you know, feel it, you know. So for me, I have a responsibility to myself, to my music, to my art, but at the same time I have a responsibility to the people that I want to help, the same way that I have a responsibility to my family, to my daughters, to my wife, as a husband, as a father. So those things are really connected to me. I've really taken it to heart. It's a big responsibility, and I don't take that lightly at all. Okay. Now, that being said, I have made many mistakes as well trying to help people, and let me tell you what I mean by that. Okay. You cannot help people that don't want to be helped. Okay. You cannot save those who don't want to be saved. I'm sure you have heard that before. I have made the mistake back in the days, and this is outside of my coaching thing that I do with music licensing. This has nothing to do with my students or what I teach here in this YouTube channel. This is outside of this. This is in real life situation, meaning that this has nothing to do with music licensing or my paid programs or the free content that I give away on YouTube and on my website. This has to do with, for example, with family members or friends that they're asking me. They don't ask advice directly from me, but I have imposed my own beliefs onto them. Okay, and you can hurt people that way. And let me explain. For example, I have friends, and you know, that they want to do something, and they're not asking for my help. They're not, and there I am saying to them, well, you should do this. Look what I'm doing, you know, and try to give them some kind of insight and say, like, but you can do it, man. You can do this like this. For example, I'm doing this with my music. I have a YouTube channel as well, so I have this thing going on, and I have a little community here. I sell my music on these libraries. I started a YouTube channel by, it was again a feeling. It's an instinct. I didn't know what I was doing in the beginning. You can go and watch the old videos, but I'm thankful that I started it back then, because it has brought me to today. Small little steps. Success is very small little steps, day in and day out, in the right direction. And failure is exactly the opposite. Failure is doing the wrong thing every single day. Okay, little steps of wrong decisions, of wrong activities, consistently. So remember that success is not just this one thing one time. So how trying to help people that don't want to be helped, it just hurts them, you know. But because I'm so passionate about helping not only people that want to do start music and work online and sell their music and maybe do what I'm doing, okay, have a YouTube channel and they can have their own thing going on as well and have their own community. And hey, you know, I'm so passionate about working online, so passionate about my music, about my art, about my videos, about how can I teach, because this comes as a second nature as well. And I realize that I can teach. Not everybody can teach. Just because you have the knowledge, that doesn't mean that you can teach. Okay, just because you know how to speak, that doesn't mean that you can communicate. So I learned all of this along the way, and I'm trying to use this to good use. These are my superpowers, and I only realized that by following my instinct and by following my gut. So when I try to help people that they don't want to be helped, I am actually hurting them, and it's almost like trying to push a religion into somebody else and say you have to convert to this religion because that way God will help you or you will be saved. And I keep doing that again and again and again, man. I'm telling you. Last night we went for drinks with some friends from our old town that where we used to live, and I can't contain myself. And there I am talking to this guy, poor guy, you know. I'm just talking to him about the online world, about my music, about my paid programs, about my YouTube channel and how the whole thing works and how you could be doing the same thing. And I just completely messed him up, I guess. I hope if he's watching this, I'm sorry, man. I didn't mean to do that. My wife is like, shut up, we just came for drinks. You're just, you know, and I do that. And I've done it many times. A few years ago, it was a New Year's Eve. And man, it's like 11:30, okay? The year's about to change, and we're having drinks with this, again, other friends, another couple with kids and stuff. And we're talking about oh, the year's gonna end, you know, fantastic. Well, just a very intimate gathering, no, not nothing big, and not like a big party. And we were just talking. And again, I go and plug in completely into business mind and say like how I make money with my music and how we can all work online, that we don't need to, you know, say, you know, all of this entrepreneurial ideas and being very artistic and very rebellious. And I guess in a way, you know, I'm a musician, I'm an artist, so I really want to rebel against the status quo. And for me, rebelling against the status quo is actually working for myself. That's the way I do it now. Okay, and yes, being a musician and the way I look, the beard, and you know, back in the day I used to have long hair, and I tried to be rebellious in school or in high school and try to rebel against my parents. But as you grow older, I still have that rebellion inside of me, and I try to help others, to say, hey, you have a lot of talents in certain areas. You can probably do not necessarily exactly what I'm doing, but you can learn from my experience. And again, it's a New Year's Eve, and there I am talking to this guy about spirituality and business and how we can grow and how can we work for ourselves. And it's okay to wanting to be better. It's okay to express that you want to be successful. It's okay. Back then we didn't have a car, and I was saying it's okay for me to want more money in order to buy a car for my family, because it would just break my heart every time we will go to places. Like for example, that night that we went to this friend's house to receive the new year, we didn't have a car. And I already have my daughter Fedra complaining that we didn't have a car, and we have to go on a taxi or somebody will have to bring us back. And it was heartbreaking for me to listen to my daughter complaining that we couldn't go to places or to parties because we didn't have a car. So I was expressing this to this guy, or to this couple anyways. But I went down that road of like what I'm doing now, like this video, for example. This video, you can decide to watch it or not, and it might help you or it might not help you. But or you can just turn it off, okay? You won't have to listen to me again. But when I'm there, I'm just like in this mode that I am right now, and my wife is like, shut up, man, you know, we're just about to, the year's gonna end, the guy just wanna have a drink with you and have a good time. He doesn't need your bloody monologue psychology about success. He's not asking you for that. And I've done that in the past. And you know, if you're one of them that have come across me, you know, and I have done that to you, I'm terribly sorry. You know, that has been a big mistake in my life. It's been a failure, really. People that don't need help, I cannot help them. You know, and I know that you want to, you know, we feel this need that we want, they need our help, you know. But you cannot save those that don't want to be saved. And I've done that with my brother as well. My brother, he wants to do other things, and I try to give him like free resources that I think that I found online. He at one point he wanted to do a film, and they had this idea, like movies, like this idea of going to college and to study in this expensive place, and that was one of the reasons why it was holding him back to not pursue his dream. And I was trying to give him all this idea of like, man, you can buy a DSLR, you can study here. Actually, you don't need to go to that expensive film school. You can't afford that, man. And by the way, look at this guy. This guy is really big. He never went to film school. Check out the free resources that he has, how he's teaching it. Go and take that online course instead. It's much affordable. You can learn much more. And but I was going down, and I just pushed him away. I hurt a lot of people like that. So nowadays I really try to contain myself. But even last night, I did it again. Like that Britney Spears. Oops, I did it again. Here I am, instead of enjoying a quiet drink with this lovely couple that they have, a family. They have a young kid as well, and it's all about the kids. We can barely concentrate on our drink and what we're sharing that moment, because when you have kids, they just, I have Melina. Melina's 2.5 years old. His kids are the kid that they have is 3, running around. We were like in an open space, so we can't really focus. And here I am again, trying to save this guy. Or in my head, I think that I can change his world view about success, life, earning money online, and life in general. And he's not asking me about it. He's not asking me for my advice. He's not asking me to say, hey, I see that you're really happy and successful. Can you give me a little bit of that? He's not asking about that. And here I am trying to shove it down his throat, or try to shove it down his ear. My wife is like, don't do it. And I'm not, don't listen, man. And that's how passionate I am about talking about success. That's how passionate I am about talking about that you can do the same thing that I'm doing. But there's a limit. There has to be a limit, because you can't go in the street and say, hey, I want to save you. You can't. And that's the beauty of the online world, that you can watch this if you're looking for it, okay? And you will find, okay? There's a saying that says that the teacher will appear when the student is ready, or something like that. I can't remember it now, but that's so true, That is so true. I can't be around looking for students, or I'm not looking for students, but I cannot be around just because I'm having this amazing life, going around trying to shove it down on any opportunity. I just, I can't disconnect, because I'm so passionate about it. And when you're passionate about something, you can't stop talking about it. And that's my point. It's the same with music. I can't stop it. I will always do music. I will always be a guitar player, okay? I will always do things the way I want them to do, because that's who I am. And I can talk to you to death about it. I mean, if you come here to me and you're sitting here in the car, I will be talking to you like this. And you will have to say to me, I agree or I disagree, or, shut up, I don't know. Or let's get to work. Stop talking, let's work, I mean, because I get fired up. Now I get fired up. I want to go home and start working. You see what I mean? It's like one thing after the other. It's like this, following my instinct, following my intuition, my calling. I have a responsibility to myself and to as a spiritual being. And I know this might sound a little bit woo out there. Here Daniel goes again with his law of attraction, or being tuned into the right frequency. But it's true, man. I feel truly grateful for little things. And crazy stuff has happened. I cannot explain them. Okay? Here my family is. Anyways, I hope this video finds you well. I'm grateful for my family. I'm grateful for my kids. I'm grateful for everything. Things have happened that it has made my life beyond successful. And I want to help you. Thank you so much for listening to me all this time. As you can tell, they took a long time for my wife to go to the supermarket and buy these things. The amount of people is just crazy, man. We live in a crazy world. I want to make the world a little bit better, even if it's by me doing my monologues like this. I hope this video finds you well, and as always, rock and roll, and here's to your success.